Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we're delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. We would love to hear from you, so you can send us an email with any question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today we have a young guest with us. His name is Matt Zerrusen. He is the co-founder of the Newman Connection. You could go to his website. It's called newmanconnection.com, and he's going to tell us all about that ministry.
Such an important work. He's connecting young people, Catholics, going off to college with the church there at the college, keeping that most important connection front and center. As so many parents are right now getting ready to send their children off to college, what's the most important issue? The issue is maintaining the faith, keeping the faith, growing in the faith.
Not to lose their faith while they're in college.
Well, we had a wonderful weekend.
We did.
Tell us a little bit about what you did.
I was at the Blessed Shrine of the Most Sacrament in Hanceville, Alabama. Beautiful shrine. If you haven't been in Hanceville, you need to go. Well, this weekend was the Avila Summit. If you're not familiar with the Avila Institute, you can go to their website also. But that was by, it was so beautiful, Dan Burke. Cardinal Arenzi was there. If you watched EWTN Thursday and Friday, you got to hear the Cardinal preach.
Cardinal Arenzi.
If you missed it, go back to those. You can catch them online.
How was it to hear him? What was that like?
It was enriching. It was refueling. It was such a great blessing. And he said so many things, and you write in so many notes. It was so beautiful. He said, if you want more, something more than the Mass, you think there's another prayer more than the Mass? He said, have another Mass. It's the Mass. I was like, yes, it was so beautiful. And he was just on fire.
He's on fire.
He was really on fire. And then I got to go to workshops with Pia de Seleni, who is the chancellor for the Diocese of Orange, with Bishop Van, who we'll be having on also. And you were there with the media missionaries.
I didn't go to the conference, but I just kind of had a personal retreat. And I tell you, being in Hanceville at the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament, again, it's so close to where we live, but if you do nothing, you don't even have to go to a conference, just to be there, to be on that holy ground, to see the shrine and Mother's resting place and so much that's there was so very, very beautiful. And plus we did the media missionary thing, recruiting people to become media missionaries to spread the word about EWTN and Christ and His church.
And I hope you do that during the summer. Somewhere, wherever you are. People were there from Alaska and Japan. People literally came from all over the world. I just had to go up a couple of miles up the road, but it was outstanding. Take a retreat, be refreshed, be renewed. Hopefully that's what summer is about.
Well, Matt Zerrusen's up next, and he's going to speak to us about the Newman Connection, connecting young people going into college with the most important connection, Christ and His church. How does he do that? He's touched hundreds of thousands of young people. We'll be right back. Please don't go away. Plenty more to come.
Welcome back. Well, the World Meeting of Families is coming up next month, and EWTN is going to provide extensive coverage from Ireland. So here's an update.
When we look at the joy of love, there's a lot of themes and complexity, but there was a thread that weaved its way throughout the document, and that's the idea of the Trinity. Now, if we understand the Trinity, we understand love, because what's happened at the Trinity is this idea of a love that is given and a love that is received, and there's a flow to it, and this is perfect to animate, to visualize. Right, you two, have you seen the animation yet?
No.
But should we watch it? Shall I explain it to you?
Yeah.
So it's talking about the Trinity. When we bless ourselves, we say in the name of the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. That's right. And how do we say it in Welsh?
Amen.
Amen. That's right, and that's what we're calling the Trinity. So God isn't one person, God is three in one. But Pope Francis says that families reflect the Trinity because families live in everyday situations, like it's when the boy breaks the window. Sad, isn't it? That's never happened to us, has it? No. Now the girl is thinking about the Trinity. Now she's trying to understand how can three be one at the same time. And look, they use, what's that? The fidget spinner. So you've got 1, 2, 3. But what happens when you spin it? It goes, ooh, it's 1, isn't it? And then it's back to 3. So 1, 2, 3. Just like the shamrock, 1, 2, 3, but it's 1 leaf. Just like water, could be steam, ice, or water. And all could be maths. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals?
3.
But 1 times 1 times 1 equals?
1.
Yay! So we're trying to find a way of explaining the Trinity that's helpful for families. So we've got 3 persons in the Trinity. And here's a circle. And then the love of the Father is given to the Son. Then the love of the Son is given to the Spirit. And the love of the Spirit is given to the Father. That love goes round and round and round. And then our families can be like that when we love each other. See all the blobs moving around? The flow of love?
Another one of those icons that Pope Francis presents to us as being the supreme example of love is the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Once more, this little church, this centre of love that beats at the heart of our Christian faith.
And every family, with all its weaknesses, can become a light in the darkness of the world. So if we can all love each other, we can be a light for others to see. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Is that the best animation you've ever seen?
Yeah.
That was the right answer. Well done.
Well, that was absolutely beautiful. So pray for EWTN as they give us cover to cover all about everything that's happening in Ireland. We certainly need to be praying for the light and salt of that nation and the impact that this beautiful world meeting of families is going to have on that nation.
Amen.
Well, I bring to you a young, handsome, tall man, Matt Zerrusen, who is the co-founder of the Newman Connection. You could go to his website, newmanconnection.com.
I thought you were going to introduce me with that intro.
You
I didn't know it was him.
Honey,
Handsome
you're
and
young,
tall, right?
handsome. You're just not tall. I would have to left that off. Anyway, Matt, we
Don't
want to
get me in
welcome.
trouble before we get started here.
We want to welcome you to At Home. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you.
It was fun learning about you. I thought, gosh, this guy was a handful to raise, I'm sure. Why don't you tell our family back home all a little bit about Matt, your story, how you got started?
Well, gosh, how I got started in campus ministry. It's actually quite interesting because I didn't go to college myself. So I'm an Illinois football fan, and we've typically had our struggles with the program. And so I was on the sideline of a football game one time, and we were getting beat pretty bad. And so we had met a Catholic priest down there. And on the sideline, we just started talking to him, and he started telling me about his ministry and how everything was going. And so he invited us back to the ministry. But this was at University of Illinois, St. John's. It's one of the premier ministries in the country. So we went back. It was Saturday night, probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And, you know, you'd think the students would be out doing whatever they do out on Saturday night. But they weren't. They were all in this main lobby, in this hall, and they were having fellowship. They were playing games. They were talking about God. And so, I mean, again, not having gone to college, I was like, what is this? I'm like, does this exist on every campus?
Yeah.
So I asked Father, and he said, you know, in this capacity with the residence hall, he said, no, we're the only one. And so I looked at Dad, and I said, not for long. And literally the next day, we started Newman Connection. Right. And so, not knowing anything about it, and you know, maybe that's the way the Holy Spirit works, because had I known what I know now, maybe I wouldn't have done it, but because it's been a long journey. But we hired a guy, bought him a car, sent him out on the road, and just said, just go visit these centers, see what's going on. Tell us what's going on out there. We want to help, we don't know how to help, we don't know what they need. Just tell us what's going on. And so he literally drove around, started in Iowa, worked up to Minnesota, and then up through the Northeast. And every night, you know, right before I would go to bed, he'd send me an email and give us a report. And it'd be about a page report of everything he saw that day. And so he would visit a center or two. And, you know, after about 30 of them, we started to see, you know, some things that were needed in campus ministry. And the biggest one to us was, you know, we found out that probably 80% of the students stop practicing the faith when they go away to college. 80%. And so we thought, man, we've got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Well, what was the biggest problem? Well, we can't identify Catholics on campus. We can't identify them. So, you know, you think as hard as it is for a student, so, you know, you're a student on a college campus. I mean, all you have to do is turn on the news to see what life on college campuses is. It's not easy for students of faith. It's not easy. They're often under attack. You know, sometimes they don't even find the campus ministry the entire 4, 5, 6 years, however long it takes them. They don't even find the campus ministry at all. And so we started looking at it from the campus minister perspective. So if it's that hard for the student, it's got to be even harder for the campus minister. And so we started talking to the campus ministers, and you know, it's the same old story. We do it the same way. We get this nice table, we go out on the quad or wherever all the students are gathered. And so we set up this booth, and we got these nice flyers and maybe some things we're going to give away. And you know, the campus minister, we're excited. The students start coming by. They're not interested in what we have. We can't tell if they're Catholic. And this is the way we run outreach on our college campuses. And we thought, what in the world's going on? There's got to be an easier way. 2 weeks ago or a week ago, we knew who the student was because they were in our pews. But now we send them off to college, and it's just like, see you later, and we hope they connect. And it's not happening. So we started this program. We call it our high school outreach program. It's our biggest program at Newman Connection. But what we do is we work in different parishes. And so we go in, we connect with like the youth minister or somebody at the parish, and we say, you know, can you help us identify your graduating high school seniors? Get us some contact information, an email address, a phone number, something that we can then send to the campus minister, so that campus minister can then reach out to the student and connect to them before they get on campus. Because as you know, I mean, the statistics show if you don't get the student in the first week of school, the chances just keep going down.
They're going to find a different community.
Going to find something else. I mean, it could be a fraternity, it could be, they get distracted. And so these connections aren't being made. And, you know, this program is helping to address some of that by getting into the parishes, you know, identifying them. And, you know, it's really, really helping campus ministers.
There's no data process where there's a line item when you fill out, when you're entering a college, your religious affiliation, like you do when you're going into the hospital. So then the minister can find you because you're coming up Catholic or Protestant or spiritual, not religious, you know how we do. There's no way for that to filter down to the campus ministers.
You know, I think there used to be. I think some universities may still do that, but unfortunately, you know, the world we're in, you know, we ask for as minimal amount of information as possible, and you know, your religious affiliation is not one of them. And even if they do get the information, they're simply not sharing it with our campus minister. So it just makes it a big time challenge to try to get and reach out, even identify the students.
And why are we waiting anyway to getting to campus to find out what kind of ministry is there, in particular for Catholics? You know, where's the nearest church, or is there a ministry someplace? You know, we're asking so many questions about the school and about the subjects I want to take or what my career is going to be and so on. We need to be asking the question of, you know, the church is at the heart of the family, as we just heard in the spot that came in. Well, if that's true, then why aren't we thinking about this months and maybe years before? Where am I sending my daughter, my son, and where are they going? So that at the heart of education, at the heart of their intellectual and community and so on, is going to be the church. Where's the nearest church? What's going on? Is there a Newman ministry? Because that's what you're connecting with. I mean, this shouldn't be done then. It should be done before.
I totally agree. Part of our program is trying to bring awareness into the parishes and even to the parents, just to say, you know, just please introduce your student to the ministry. But as we know, I mean, we all have kids, and you know, mom and dad bring you by the church, and they say, okay, you know, son or daughter, you're going to go every week, and grandma and grandpa send a letter. You know, are you going to church? Or it doesn't work. It's not working. And so what we find through this program, we work with the campus ministers and we say, look, let's have somebody else who is their peer reach out to them. So we don't just send them an email and say, hey, we have Mass on Sunday, why don't you join us?
Right.
That's not exciting to an 18-year-old student. So we have a peer reach out to them and say, hey, we've got all these programs going on at the Newman Center, and why don't you come join us? And so when it comes from a peer, we think that connection is working, it's stronger because it comes from somebody that, especially if it's somebody who's personable, outgoing, somebody that they want to hang around. And we just find that to be working much better than, we still want the parents to introduce it, but we just find the peer-to-peer relationship.
How long has this
building.
been going on, the Newman Connection?
Well, this program was actually started by the Sarah Club.
Okay.
And it's been going on in, many years. It started in Lima, Ohio by Dick Stolley. He was a Sarah Club. And then with Newman Connection, we took it over about 4 years ago, maybe, 4 or 5 years ago, and just kind of updated the process, brought it all online. And what we had already that the Sarah Clubs didn't have was we had the connection to all the campus ministers. So it made the connection process more seamless.
What are the numbers? How many have you reached? Do you know approximately how many that you've made connections for of these young people?
We're ramping. We're moving up. We keep putting more resources into this. The more awareness I can help bring to the parishes and to the people, we're able to keep expanding the program. And I want to say in the past 2 years, I think we've connected about 150,000 students.
150,000.
Yeah, the campus ministry. So now I can't assure they all made it there, but I can assure that their information was given to the campus ministers.
And there's a place to connect the dots. We had 4 kids that went to Catholic high school and graduated and went off to college. And we did the same thing. You show them where the church is. You even introduce them to the pastor and everything. But to go in even to Catholic high schools, just to say, okay, well, you guys are going, where are you going? And to plug them in is so helpful because you don't know about the Newman Connection.
Well, let's carry Matt over. We're going to spend a couple more minutes speaking. It's Newman Connection, www.newmanconnection.com. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, we will continue our discussion with Matt Zerrusen, but before we hear from him, we're going to go straight to Rome to hear from Joan Lewis. Now, Joan, Pope Francis talked about discipleship yesterday for his Angelus address. What exactly did he say?
Well, greetings from Rome to all of you at home. And I have to say, as I was studying the website of the Newman Connection, this is the website, of course, the organization that Matt founded to help students stay with their faith during the college years. I noted that he said at one point, connect with me and I can keep you up to date on ways to help this mission. We're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with, and we need many good people on our team. So listening to Pope Francis at the Angelus on Sunday, it sounds as if he understood this mission and he was supporting Matt in what he's doing. Now at the Angelus, the Pope once again focused on the idea of missionary discipleship. And he was talking about the day's gospel. He talks about the moment that Jesus asked each of his disciples to come with him individually by name, but then he sent them out 2 at a time before he was to go out. The Pope said this was kind of an internship as to what the disciples would do after the resurrection. The Pope said, when Jesus sends the apostles on mission, they're not going forth to spread their own message or to demonstrate their own abilities. Rather, like rays emanating from a center, the disciples proclaim the message of Jesus and bring his presence and work into the world. They are called to speak and act as his messengers. And as Christians today, the Pope said, basically, we are called to do the same thing. We are called to proclaim the gospel of Christ, and he said it's only authentic if indeed we focus on Christ. So as you can see, we are all called to mission. We are called to spread the faith, but above all, to keep the faith and to persist in the mission. And we must remember, as the Pope said, Jesus wants his disciples to depend only on the love of him who sends him, strengthened by the word that they proclaim. So we're all on a mission, each one of us, in what we do respectively. So kudos to you, Matt, for what you do. Back to you.
Joan, thanks so much for another wonderful report and for the exhortation that we're all missionaries, as the Holy Father says, and we need to be about his business. Matt, how can people assist you with making the connection with all these young people and their faith while at college?
Well, the program's run in the parishes, so you know it's really an easy program to run. We encourage a graduation mass. I mean, if you're not having one, you need to have one, because we need to have a send-off for the graduates. And if it's too late now, do a graduation send-off. So just give them a blessing before they go. Some people do a blessing of the backpacks or whatever, but we need to do something for our graduates. And so then in the parishes, what we're encouraging people to do is just go on to Newman Connection, become an ambassador for the program. It's a card system, so you just put some cards in the pews and you just say to the graduates, you know, as a parish, we want to stay connected to you through your time at college, and you can still send them emails and information about the parish, because I don't know what the stats are, but a good number of them are going to come back to your parish. And then the second part is, it's our obligation to connect you to your next step. And so fill out this card, put it into Newman Connection, and let us do the work. But it's really easy to run at a parish level, and can be run by anybody. It's so simple.
I can't think of many other things that are more important at this juncture when these young people are in their last year of school, getting ready to graduate, than to say, the heart of the church, keep it together with your academics. And so you're in touch with hundreds, thousands of centers?
Oh gosh, yeah, we're up. I mean, we've connected with over 1,000 of them, but not all of them have a physical presence on campus. Some of them, you know, we tie to a local parish who may have a special mass. Maybe some people call it the last chance mass, but you know, the college students, you have that mass at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. That's the one they want to go to.
Right.
Well, Matt, we look forward to Wednesday's show with you to speak about faith-based housing, right? So you're all involved with that. You've got a number of these on campuses. So hope you've enjoyed our show today. I hope you're encouraged that people are doing great works like this connection, the Newman Connection, to raise up the next generation. Keep it on EWTN. God bless you and all of your loved ones. Bye now.